There is an old saying in real estate, paint will make it what it ain't. So with a little bit of paint and maybe a fresh landscaping and a blacktop of parking lot, I can have a property look like a brand new property. Just cosmetic renovations in 4 or 6 months. I can change the rent roll, increase the rents to convert the leases from gross leases to triple net leases, raise rent to market if it's below market rents. And I can have literally a new project that's fully stabilized in less than 12 months.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Nikita Zhitov, who is the owner of CityPlat LLC. He's been in the game for over 20 years, and we have a lot to talk about here. So thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for having me.
So you have built quite an impressive business around you. How did you get into the industry to begin with?
By accident and by luck, I got into high school. I was just shadowing somebody who read a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and got intrigued by real estate. So found the local real estate investor to shadow while my senior year in high school, and got hooked. Caught the real estate bug, as they say it. So I've been kind of stumbled upon it by accident, and but really got intrigued and have been in it ever since.
That's a really young age to even be, acting on your future.
Well, it's, when you're that young, you don't know what you cannot do. So you
Right.
think you're invincible and you think you can do anything. You're very bold and direct with your questions. So I think you can get away with things that you cannot get away when you get older. You're asking people direct questions to sell you property, so to lend you money. And you're just very bold, and surprisingly, a lot of people say yes. I think as adults, we just let our ego get in the way that prevent us from asking the questions. But the answer to every question you don't ask is a no. The only
Right.
way to create a possibility of a yes is ask the question of proposition. So, and when you're young, you don't have those barriers, so you can ask a lot of questions, and you, to your own surprise, get a lot of yeses.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I think a lot of people do kind of stand in their own way in terms of growth because they feel awkward or annoying reaching out to people. But that's great that you had that opportunity.
Yeah. We specialize in not specialize, but we go out of our way to hire young kids who are like still in high school or college as interns, so that we can just expose them to the industry at young age, because this is a very great industry to be in. Commercial real estate, it changed my life. It has the ability to take normal people like myself, in my case, without college degree, who could barely speak English, no credit history, good or bad, simply no credit history, no money, no connections, no endorsements. And it can take somebody like that, essentially starting out from ground zero, and turn that person
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Into extraordinary wealthy person who can have an extraordinary life and travel to extraordinary places and just have extraordinary experience. That's what this business does. It's a tool for normal people to have an extraordinary lives. So, and I'm a beneficiary of the American dream, and I just want others to experience the same thing. So that's why we go out of our way to take on young interns and expose them to the industry.
And how did you get started? I mean, you started really from the bottom. You said you had no credit. You were learning, a new language. What were even your first steps for networking and building out, your knowledge base?
Yeah, so reading everything, taking classes, seminars I could take on anything I can learn about real estate, about creative deal structuring, because again, I had no money, so I had to figure out how to acquire deals creatively without money. And so seller financing, so anything I could learn on creative deal structuring, and really just going to being a part of masterminds, whether it's networking clubs. I think that one of the first ones was like a local RIA, a Real Estate Investors Association in my city. It was some of the first kind of investment masterminds, and over the years, you graduate from some of them and you outgrow some of them, and you move on to bigger and better groups where that keep stretching you and where you can keep learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
when you
I do
become
think that's
number one person in the group, it means you're in the front group. You need to be the smallest denominator so you can actually learn something from others.
absolutely. Absolutely. I do think networking is such an important part. And as you said, a lot of people are willing to help and willing to, lend a hand and say yes. So tell us kind of where you're at today with CityPlat and how you've been able, to build such an impressive company.
Yeah, we're CityPlat, so we're around $400 million assets under management, mostly retail and industrial, a little bit of office and land and multifamily, just from like kind of a legacy stuff we used to do in the past. For the last really 4 or 5 years, we've been focusing on value add acquisitions. So but that's kind of how the portfolio looks like, about 50-50 on neighborhood retail. We have some larger grocery anchored stuff and big box retail, but mostly it's neighborhood retail, unanchored neighborhood retail, and sub-institutional grade shallow bay industrial, kind of like under 120,000 feet, small bay.
Amazing.
That's
And
roughly 80%.
Talk more about neighborhood retail and kind of the opportunity there and why, you've made that your specialty.
Yeah, I just one of my favorite asset classes, because when you have, I like it way more than bigger boxes. When you have a big box move out, you might have, I don't know, 50 tenants in the entire country who can backfill it. It's going to take you a while, and they really have to love the location, and they're going to dictate their terms. They're going to ask for a lot of TI and free rent abatement and things like that. When I have a 2,000 or 3,000 square feet shop, inline shop, move out, I got 3,000 tenants I can backfill it with. Your local barber, your local insurance company, your tattoo salon, vape store. I mean, a local like coffee shop, a restaurant. Like there is just so many tenants, like literally thousands of local businesses. You're really working with not national credit tenants. You're working with community right? And you.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Working with small business owners. So, and you can backfill it usually within a couple of months with minimum TI and minimum rent abatement. So, and in 3 months, I can be back to 100% occupancy, as opposed to losing a bigger tenant. Might take a couple of years to backfill it. So it's more of from a risk. I like it from the risk perspective and exposure. And I like it because, we gotta have an opportunity to work with members of a local community instead of an out of town company coming in. And I liked small bay industrial for the same reason. When we have 3,000 or 5,000 square feet unit go vacant, I got 5,000 local small businesses who can backfill it with minimum TI and minimum rent abatement. Your HVAC contractors, your plumbing contractors, your people who sell stuff on eBay or Amazon, your local distributors, you got your cabinet shop people. There's literally 5,000 small tenants who can backfill a 3,000 or 5,000 square feet warehouse with a small office in the front and maybe some drive-ins or dock doors, as opposed to losing a big distribution center. First of all, there's been a lot of that product built in the last 5 years.
Right.
Since the pandemic started. So there is really oversupply, I think, of industrial, a larger institutional grade industrial where you got 150 to 100,000 square feet warehouses sitting empty. And again, you really have to look for that premium credit tenant, and you cannot charge the premium on the rent that you can get on smaller units.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my logic behind it. And yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good, that sounds amazing. That's a really good layout of why that's a great opportunity. And I know that value add is, you say it's the quickest way to create wealth. Can you talk a little bit more about that and why that strategy is so appealing?
Yeah. So, I've tried every type of real estate transaction probably that exists, and I've touched every asset class over my career. And I used to like development because you're building something from ground up, or redevelopment rather, infill redevelopment, where you, instead of cutting down more trees, you're repurposing existing real estate for higher and better use, putting in higher density. But it's a very complicated, any development is a very complicated process. In most municipalities that these days, and some are better and some are worse, but most municipalities, I cannot, from the moment I identify a site or a project and say, okay, I do them a performance, this deal looks like it pencils out and it's a good deal, we should proceed. The moment I sign the contract, it takes me 2 years before I can break ground. It takes me 2 years of entitlement, whether it's zoning, permitting, your architectural, your engineering, your civil, all of that. 2 years before I can break ground. Then another, let's say we're building a 5-story mixed-use apartment building or condominium or something. It takes a year and a half to build it. Another probably 6 months to a year to stabilize it or to sell it if it's condos, or stabilize it if it's apartments. So you're looking at minimum 4 years, more likely 5-year cycle from the moment you say like, okay, that's a go, to the moment you actually realize a profit or finish the project. And so many things can change over 5 years. Think about where we were 5 years ago. In 5 years, we went from 2 different presidents and administration. We started with one and we went to another one and then go back to the first one. Interest rates were at 5% and down to 3% and then back to 7%, and then now I guess down to 6%. Like interest rate climate, the construction pricing have changed so drastically over 5 years.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
The tariffs on steel and the construction cost have doubled. So you have performed one thing why the project makes sense, and by the time you actually started doing it, construction price changed. Thinking about you broke ground on office building in 2018 or 2019. By the time you finished it in 2023, you would be in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
So many things can change, and nobody can see the future. Nobody has a crystal ball. That's why I like value add, because there is an old saying in real estate: paint will make it what it ain't. So with a little bit of paint and maybe a fresh landscaping and a blacktop of parking lot, I can have a property look like a brand new property. Just cosmetic renovations in 4 or 6 months. I can change the rent roll, increase the rents, to convert leases from gross leases to triple net leases, raise rent to market if it's below market rents. And I can have literally a new project that's fully stabilized in less than 12 months. Now, it's still projection, because a lot of things can change in 12 months, but it's not like trying to project things out 4 or 5 years from now, because you just cannot predict what's going to happen in 5 years from now. We can be in another pandemic, World War III, who knows what's going to happen. And that's why, just from risk tolerance perspective, value add is much less risky. There is less unknowns that can go wrong, and there is a shorter turnaround time. So we can turn around the project in 6 months. That's different than 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good breakdown of it. And I kind of want to shift gears a little bit, because you have a really exciting podcast, The Frequency of Wealth. And you dive into the topic of meditation and how it relates to business. I would love for you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So you meet people who are either like very spiritual, but they're broke, or people who are like very wealthy in Wall Street, but they're far away from anything spiritual or far away from spirituality. So I've been meditating for many years myself, and it's a big part of kind of my life. So I thought I would create a podcast where I interview other people who have achieved extraordinary amount of wealth, but they use their spirituality, whatever that is. In my case, it's meditation. For other people, maybe something else, as a tool for business. So how can they use, like, say, meditation as a tool for business to help them to propel their career and help them in wealth creation? So that's kind of so I do both. I share my own ideas and perspective, like the routine and the patterns I have recognized. It's all about pattern recognition, right? So you want to figure out, you want to how to be successful. You want to figure out how to be successful. Just find other people who are successful and watch what they're doing. What's their behaviors? What's their thought process? What's their logic? What's their habits? And make those habits your own. And eventually, the people you hang out with, you're going to become, I think Jim Rohn said, you're going to become an average of 5 people that you spend the most of your time with. So it's all about recognizing patterns. I'm curious to know that myself. That's why I interview other people. But so I do both. I share my own thoughts and perspective, what my habits are, so other people can learn from just the insights that I've learned over the years, as well as I interview others. So it's not just me talking, where I can learn, as well as others can learn from somebody who is maybe more successful than I am.
Right.
So we can keep exploring those dimensions.
And
to
I'm
identify
sure,
new patterns.
yeah. I'm sure you talk to so many people, and are there common patterns for high performing individuals that you see over and over?
Yeah, definitely. Most of them, they do read a lot, whether it's audiobooks or actual reading. Uh, they read a lot, constantly reading. You never, average American never spends $1 out of their pocket after their college. And we graduate college at what, like 22, 23 years old. So it's like you telling the world, like, I know it all at 23. I don't need to invest anymore in my education. So, like, I'm in some kind of a seminar literally every week. I'm reading books literally like every day. And most people who are, I know, who are successful, they never stop learning. They're always growing, they're always stretching themselves, whether it's learning new materials about their industry or whether it's just growing personally, like go and doing something that you haven't done before, like learning how to play piano or fly airplanes or ride horses or climbing a mountain. Just do something that's going to stretch you and where you're going to create a new synaptic connections in your brain. So that's one habit. Another habit is they're usually part of some kind of a masterminds where they learn, because the power of collective, it's like a compounding effect, where waves builds upon waves, built upon waves. You have a very high amplitude of waves once you combine and overlap waves together. So the same thing works with humans. When their collective brain power are put together, they come up with they have a better results. A lot of them have, most of them have faith. Again, whether it's religion or whether it's their own practices or some kind of a meditation practice. Most of them have faith as a big part of their success, a big part of their life. Most of them are very disciplined. Most of them are early risers. So those are just some common, and most of them we've heard of, and they're like kind of a common sense things, but actually very few people execute on it.
Uh-huh.
So all the information is right there in front of you. The secrets to success. You just gotta have to go and execute on it. And but a lot of people just take it out. It's a cliche, but that's what life consists of those small cliches that you just gotta execute on.
Absolutely. And kind of what I'm hearing also is having that growth mindset, believing that you can get better and better, and maybe that there's no point in your life where you've arrived and, you're enlightened and don't need any more growth.
Yeah, the purpose of life is life itself. I think it's about the experiencing. So why would you want to stop learning? You want to keep exploring. It's about experiencing different things. So you want to keep having new experiences, and um, yeah, a constant growth is one of our core values at my company. So everybody in my company have to report on a weekly basis how they have grown from the week prior, and whether
Oh, wow.
it's which lists of books they've read or how they have grown or stretched themselves. And we hire, fire, or promote, or uh, demote people based on those core values, and constant growth or commitment to growth um, is one of them.
Absolutely. And it
Sure.
doesn't have to be crazy growth from week to week. Even just, they say 1% better is effective.
I think we had technology issue. So if I heard you correctly, yeah, if you just make 1% improvement, it's like climbing a big mountain. You're not gonna run up to the top of Mount Everest. As a matter of fact, if you were to be dropped off, if I was able to fly you in a helicopter and drop you off at the top of Mount Everest, you would die in a minute. You would literally die in a minute. You would implode. So you gotta build up to it, right? You gotta get climatized, and you gotta do it one step at a time. And sometimes you cannot even see the top when you're climbing and you're in the clouds, right? You cannot see the top, so you just gotta do it one step at a time. But if you make those 1% improvements every day through your disciplines, one of my you're gonna see a lot. You're gonna make a 365-degree improvement, or 365% improvement in a year if you just improve yourself 1% a day. It's, one of my favorite books is called The Compound Effect. And basically, if you go to the gym and you work out every day, and like you look yourself, you hardly gonna notice any progress in like 2 or 3 months. But if you keep working out for 3 years, you take a picture of yourself before and after in 3 years, you're gonna notice a big difference. The same thing if you eat a piece of cheesecake at dinner tonight, you're probably not gonna notice much difference in your physique tomorrow. But if you're gonna keep eating a piece of cheesecake every single day for the next 3 years, I promise you, we'll take a picture of you today and 3 years from now, after over 1,000 cheesecakes eaten, there's gonna be a big difference how you look at 3 years from now. So it's called the compound effect. Same works with your mind. Like if you keep feeding your mind with a bunch of junk, social media, I don't know, you're probably not gonna notice much difference, but that compounded over time, it's gonna be a big difference. If you keep feeding it with positive stimuli from books and personal growth, then in 3 years from now, you're gonna be a different person, and you're gonna have a different bank account. You can always bet on it. So the key is just to having consistency, small step consistency.
Absolutely. I think that's such a good note to end on. I think that's great advice for people. And the compounding effect, that sounds like a great book. I might pick that up today. So tell everyone where to find you, how to find CityPlat, and where to find your podcast as well.
So the Frequency of Wealth podcast, I just started it, so I don't have many subscribers, but you can find it on YouTube. I think the channel is at Nikita Zhitov is the channel name. And you can also find me on Instagram, Nikita Zhitov, on Instagram and LinkedIn. Yeah, just search the name in those three, avenues, platforms. You should be able to find me there. As far as CityPlat, we're located in Raleigh. Most of our investments are in the Carolinas, but we are expanding to other states. Again, right now we got properties under contract in 9 different states that are in the acquisition pipeline. So really bring us deals. If you can demonstrate the path from point A to point B and what's the value component, we're opportunistic. We have criteria, but we're also opportunistic, so we would look at deals if you find deals.
Same. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I think you've given a lot of good inspiration for people.
Thank you, Kristen. It's been a pleasure.
Amazing. Well, thank you everyone for listening. I really encourage you to check out Nikita, to check out CityPlat. Definitely check out that podcast, and hope you got some good inspiration for your business. Maybe learned a lot, got some takeaways from this episode. So we will see you back next time. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.